You are listening to the Light Over Time podcast with David Sargent and Korey Bartos. It is 7/30/2023, and Tom DeLonge was right about aliens all along. How are you today, bud?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
Quite good. Had a pretty relaxing weekend. I will ask you about what you're drinking in a moment, but Hope and Evan got me for my birthday a bag of coffee. It's a Yurgachev from a roaster in Sawyer, Michigan. It's like over by St. Joe, and it is one of the best bags of Ethiopian coffee I've ever had in my life.
Oh.
We made a couple flash brews today, and it was like it smelled amazing, and it tasted amazing, and it was pretty rad. But today, Blue Energy released their new flavor, Wild Berry. It's kind of like a soft launch. You can get it locally, but it'll be online to purchase August 12th.
Nice.
So what are you drinking?
I am drinking an Ethiopia Sidamo. It's kind of like the last one I was drinking, but a different farm in the Sidamo region. This I did not roast. It is very limey, and on the bag it said lime. It said orange blossom honey, and those two flavor notes come out perfectly. It was roasted on a bellwether. That's what they like. The bag made sure to make that known. It's like, okay, cool, whatever. But it comes out. It's nice. And I flash brewed it with a few slices of lime in the Chemex. It's nice.
You've been out here on all the citrus with your coffee lately.
It's fantastic. It's refreshing.
I don't know about that yet, but I'll have to give it a shot.
Oh, it's good.
Right on. Well, I guess obviously we still haven't spoken very much because this is our busiest season ever, man. Apparently.
Yeah.
What have you been shooting? What have you been up to?
Well, I shot one rabbit in 2 weeks. I don't think I got the camera out for anything else. That's pretty much it. I intended to go out and shoot some birds one day. I was like, all right, this is great. I'm gonna I got this hour. I'm gonna go do this. I got to the trailhead near where I live, and there was this rabbit. I was like, all right, cool. That's a good sign. Good luck. I shot the rabbit. And then I went in the trail and just got eaten alive by mosquitoes. And I was wearing short sleeve, and it was just humid and buggy and stale out. And I turned around in 5 minutes. So I got one rabbit in the last week or two.
I saved a rabbit this week.
Nice.
So we both got one rabbit. Right on. I've been up to so much, man. Been shooting a lot for work. I'm developing some presets for myself. I might just release them for free if people really like them or whatever, but just getting some different presets for the types of shooting I've been doing a lot of lately, and really happy about one that I did. Kind of developed it. It's almost like blue hour for golden hour is kind of like the preset.
Okay.
Because I was working with all these teams guys, and we're doing this night vision course, and I wanted, we start way before the sun goes down, and I wanted those shots to kind of more reflect that we were there for a night vision course, and really happy with the preset though.
Cool.
Doing a little bit with Adobe's calibration and everything, so it's got some sauce in it. Pretty stoked, but yeah, that's been pretty good. I did some e-commerce product photography this weekend for Loot Energy, and that's why I already have some of their new product, which is great, but cans are a nightmare. I tell you what, both reflections and then just them being imperfect, because they're wrapped cans, right?
Yeah.
And such a drag, but the amount of generative fill I'm using these days on all of my shooting is wild.
Yes. Same here.
It's so easy to so I shoot on, white background stuff. I'll use some kind of cork board or something like that, or poster board rather. And I can just lasso around the product, invert the selection, and then just be clean white background, please. And then all I have to do is a little bit of touch up.
It's like we've said this before, an enhanced version where of the spot healing tool, where if there was something so obtrusive where I would look at that and go, I'm not even going to attempt that with spot healing because it would look like garbage, or it would look bad, and I'll continue from there and try to make it look less like garbage.
Yeah.
This new generative fill just kicks ass. It gets it.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to use the clone stamp and draw so much less.
Yeah.
Which is, obviously when spot healing just won't take care of something, you got to sit there and like kind of build pixel for pixel, like to make it not look garbage. And like, especially if it
Yeah.
comes to like a little bit of foliage or whatever. So that's been cool, man. I
Can
haven't found,
I just
sorry, what?
wanted to say, I also have been using it a lot. I just got done editing a huge wedding album, and I used it for probably only 5% of actual images, but all of those that I used it on, it was so huge. And what it's really good at is you don't have to be precise at all. Your selection can be so broad, and what I really appreciated, most of what I needed it for was to take out really distracting objects in the background that overlapped with people, and I was able to just draw over people's arms, heads, necks, hands, and it generative fill took the objects out and just completely made sure that like the actual person's all of their features and everything were basically intact perfectly. And even though you could tell, like side by side, that there was some alteration done to make sure it worked, it does a fantastic job.
Yeah, I mean it's huge, right? Like you showed me, you sent me a quick little
Yeah.
video of like removing like a trailer and like an
A
outhouse or
trailer,
something.
a four-wheeler, a
Yeah,
truck, a bunch of things.
and it speeds up what should be that simple of a task
Yeah.
nowadays, right? Like, and
Yeah.
it's there will be people forever. Like, obviously, if you're doing like reportage or like documentary photography, we're not talking about you, but like
Right.
my memories of my wedding, I want to look at in 30 years. It's
Mhm.
pretty hype to be able to like make that just go away. Like I
Right.
said,
Right.
the
Sorry, before some of the old school people start thinking, in this scenario, no matter where I looked, there were
yeah.
trailers and four
Oh
wheelers and
no,
all kinds of objects. So there wasn't like a perfect spot to angle. It
no,
was just all of that was in the background at 360 degrees. So it was pretty
yeah,
necessary, and I knew going in that this was something I was going to
yeah.
have to do.
Yeah, the image I saw of is there was literally like a big trailer, some kind of building, and like it was far left of the frame and far right of the frame, and
Mhm.
like kind of all in between. And
Yeah.
it's just it makes life easy. Like I don't mind that, and it's not like you're sitting there completely altering who I am and where I was and what I was doing. Like I'm standing on like the Empire State Building, and
Mhm.
like that didn't happen. It is what it is. I'm super grateful for it. Like I said, I've been using it a lot for just expanding backgrounds and stuff, and how it handles out of focus foliage
Mhm.
is just so bananas to me.
Yeah.
It like really, really handles like matching bokeh with a lot of kind of detailed specular highlights and
Mhm.
stuff in it. Pretty damn good. Like it's sick. So, and I'm sure it'll only get better. So
And even through a range of depth, like in
yeah,
focus or out of focus, in focus, out of focus again, the entire range, it's pretty smart about that. It's
yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, it still obviously will mess up. There's still trial and error. It's not like it's a one click go, and you always pretty much have to like do a little bit of touching up and stuff.
No,
But
but even if you do it once, twice, three times, once you finally get that, if it's on the third, fourth try or whatever, that even by the end of that, you're still saving a ton of time
oh yeah,
doing it the alternative way.
no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's sick. Like all minor touching up. Like I'll maybe clone a little bit or like just get rid of a couple little details that they added, and then it looks almost flawless. And I'm pretty picky. Like I don't even like using Lightroom's healing because it's so bad comparatively. And I know
Yes.
photographers that are like, oh, it's good enough. I was like, no,
I
it's
have
not
stopped.
good enough.
I just edit in
Yeah.
Photoshop, save real quick, come back.
Yeah, like it's for me, it's jarring as hell.
It's way different.
Yeah, so yeah. Anyway, that's been fun.
Hmm.
He's definitely shooting a lot right now, which is nice. I'm running my buddy's Pentax K1000 right now, so I have my
Cool.
second roll of film in there. I'm hoping to get that completed in the next couple of weeks so I can send those in. A little easier to use than my Zenit, obviously not broken like my Zenit. So I'll take it. Way less cool sounding. It kind
Yeah.
of and I'm like, oh well, okay. I guess that is what it is. Um, but right on, man. Yeah. So you had, was that the wedding that you talked about in the previous episode that you delivered on all?
Yeah, so it's now July 30th, and I believe that wedding took place the first weekend of July. It was, it might have been July 5th or something like that. So it took me a solid 3 weeks to call and edit, and I finally this morning just delivered 500 plus images, which is double what the expectation was as far as image count goes. But it's one of those things where I'll say for that tier, that wedding package, oh, about 200 to 300 finished images, and I never really know. I can most definitely deliver up to that amount, and sometimes it's just one of those things where if I'm taking 4,000 images, 10% of those is 400 and 10% is a pretty average keeper number for any session. So 500 wasn't surprising. It's a lot of work though. So 300 or 3 weeks, a lot of nights, go until 11 o'clock midnight on the nights that I wasn't roasting until 11 o'clock midnight. So in and out of those things. Yeah, it was good though.
Yeah. When you're shooting weddings, do you run auto white balance or do you run fixed white balance?
Fixed.
Yeah.
Both cameras are set to the same value. So I can, even when I'm going between indoors and outdoors, I know there are different tricks to help with that. But I'd rather just save that work for after because I
Yeah.
can, set it across a certain range of photos and be good.
Yeah, I was curious. I auto white balance is such a bane, no matter what I do, that I stay away from it like the plague.
Yeah.
It's too inconsistent, really, and it makes slapping presets or whatever I do on all the presets I use I've developed myself, so it's not like I go out and like buy them. But
I'm
um,
not totally against auto white balance, but when the results have to be in a finished album together, gallery,
yeah,
whatever, it,
right,
it does
exactly.
make things easier for me personally. But if I'm just out shooting, like street photos or whatever, I probably wouldn't mind if I thought about it. It's just
Yeah,
totally default mindset to just keep that white balance at one thing for me.
yeah. I have one custom white balance, and then I'm mostly shooting daylight, honestly, um, because I jump between video and stuff so much
Yeah,
that like
it
I
stays
just
on
keep
daylight for me too.
yeah, that I just got used to keeping it on daylight.
I will
Unless you're
say
in
for
really weird.
Astro, I do change it for Astro so I can see as
Yeah,
neutrally as possible. I think that
right.
helps with me for compositions as hard as it is to see, but when I'm like shining flashlights and stuff, and then like taking the shot to check composition, switch it up, it helps me visually, if color is neutral, to look at the composition.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
So what do you set it for that then?
Oh, it's down to like 4200K or something like
Sure.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, I especially when Astro is so kind of focused on what that final edit of the color looks like. It's such a pain when you have like just some tint values that differ between shot to shot. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Um, I get a little too pixel peepy when I'm editing anything I've done that's astrophotography, and then it creates a lot of work for myself when I move from image to image, and
Yeah.
I haven't set it. So made that
Hmm.
mistake at least twice before I was like, okay, well, never again. Um, as far as like news and stuff, I got a couple of articles here. I haven't watched a ton of like super wild content that was super inspiring recently. I've been kind of watching a couple of movies here and there, but listening to a lot of music and working out this week. Um, but I did catch a recent Thomas Heaton video where he's using that Hasselblad X pan like out in Iceland. Did you see that one?
I actually just looked at his page today and realized that I've missed the last dozen or so
Oh,
Thomas Heaton videos. So I was
yeah.
watching through about 2 months ago. I watched his Svalbard trip and a couple others, but I have not gotten to that point yet.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Definitely recommend watching it
Okay.
because it's interesting how he's like kind of committed to using the Hasselblad in that environment, and it's not a great camera for that like fast moving boat through
Uh-huh.
like icebergs and stuff. But the images are sick. Like
Yeah.
obviously, if you're unfamiliar with what an X pan is, it's basically like a 35 millimeter stretched like two frame, basically panoramic or whatever. You get like 21 shots a roll, and it's just like thick, sick film shots. But yeah, that was fun, and it got me. I was borrowing my buddy's camera, but I hadn't put the film in, and it pressed me to put the film in the camera and go, okay, I need to finish this roll up just so I can get this stuff sent in.
That's funny. I didn't even see he released a video like that, because I've watched a number of videos of his where he takes that X-Pan camera out and has a really difficult time with it and has a lot of failures with it. But if I was him, I'd probably be continuing to do the same thing, because he's probably seeing other people with great results and wants to work his way into that being like natural. I can imagine failure and failure and failure is one of those things that will keep coming along until he gets what he wants.
Yeah, he's not super confident with it. Like I
Right.
said, like he's using it in an environment that just doesn't make any sense. He's like
Right.
trying to photograph a polar bear with it and stuff, and it's like that is not gonna happen.
But like if you get one out of the whole roll, that's like
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of worth it, right?
Yeah, well, and
Yeah.
it's sweet. I can't remember what he said. I think he had Portra 160 in it at one point, which is really interesting for a mostly monochrome like environment, right? I think he had a black and white film in before that, but yeah. Anyway, it was pretty neat.
Sure.
Just some good shooting and some good commentary about like kind of what he's doing, and
Mm-hmm.
with an X-Pan on a big boat with a giant motor and everything like that, you're trying to like line up these icebergs in the mountains and stuff, and he's moving so fast and it's such a wide frame that like he just is like, okay, well, and it's a rangefinder camera, right? So
Yeah.
he's talking about, he's like, I don't know, I put that boy on like f11, shoot it to infinity focus and snap one, and then pull it back a little bit and like hope that the things are in focus. Like
Yeah.
it's he shows a lot of challenges with using that camera, especially in that environment, and it was fun.
Yeah.
A good thing. And then obviously the Sony videos and just the recent stuff, but the Sony A6700, I found this really interesting. I don't know if this is like a carbon neutral thing. I didn't read the whole article.
Oh,
I just
yeah,
wanted to
nice.
talk about the thing. But the A6700 doesn't ship with a way to charge it.
It's like they're just, phones started doing this with no bricks, and most of them
Yeah.
still come with cables. I don't know a phone that doesn't come with a cable. This
Right.
might be the first electronic device where you have a way to charge it, but it doesn't ship with that way.
Yeah.
At all.
It's strange. I mean, at least it's FZ100s. Like I have two of those chargers and one camera. So, I guess if I end up getting one, I won't be that disappointed because I'll just use that anyway. But like, very weird. Very weird take, especially because
what is weird about that is, you can make the assumption that 99% of the customer base who buys that camera is going to have had a phone already with the right cable. Until that, like, it's not a non-zero number of users who buy that camera without the cable, right? Like, that's got to be kind of infuriating if you didn't know.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
oh, I don't use a smartphone. Like, I don't know who that is right now, but I don't use a smartphone. I have no reason to have a USB-C cable. Now I got to go buy a cable.
If I have an iPhone and a MacBook, I don't have a fucking USB-C cable.
Yeah, that's true. Man, I don't know, man. That's really weird.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only things I have that are actually USB-C, dude, are my like camera related accessories, like my Rode mics and I guess my Rode mics. I guess I have USB-C cables. Yeah, I have USB-C cables for like my SSDs, but they're not like, power delivery cables. I wouldn't use them to like charge this with any type of speed.
Maybe that number of users is more than I thought it could be. I wonder what kind of backlash, if any. I mean, we've already seen some people talking about it, and maybe that's all it'll amount to. But I wonder if this is a trend that will continue.
Yeah. Well, because what the I didn't buy mine new, but the A7 IV doesn't have a brick charger, right?
Not that I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes with a wall wart and a cable, but it doesn't have the brick charger that my A7R4 and my A7S3 had.
Yeah.
Which is just weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess if it chips off a couple $100 to minimize it alone isn't going to be a couple $100, right? But if you're pinching every value because you want to try and get it under $1,400, okay, well there's another $30 or whatever off the top that you'll make by them buying a full brick charger or whatever. I don't know. There's
Yeah,
probably some justification for it that I don't know or haven't considered, but it's stupid.
it is. I don't agree with it. A cable has got to be cheap enough. I don't know. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah. Good and bad news in the old Nikon division. Tamron is bringing the 35 to 150 to it,
Saw
which is
that.
huge.
Hmm.
I still don't know that. I was really excited about that lens when it first was announced. I don't think I really care about it too much now. It's a remarkable lens. There's a lot of people that really dig it, but it's huge for the Z mount. So there's that. I could see a lot of sports people running a really big lens in one of those, and you could get everything.
Hmm.
Um, but the thing that really got me over the last couple of weeks was the recall.
Yeah.
And the Z8 recall is hysterical. Did we talk about that last episode or?
Not this particular thing. No.
Yeah. So the like strap hooks are just like coming out of the body.
What a. It's like this is. Imagine you've got your $4,000 camera, and
And it just yeets off of your strap.
I don't want to laugh because that might be happening to people, and that really sucks.
That's why I use a black rapid strap and you screw it into the quarter 20.
Yeah, yeah, but like the expectation should not be that could break
You know what's more
at all.
hilarious? The more hilarious aspect to it is that Nikon is reaching out to distributors to tug on the
Yeah, I saw that.
on the freaking strap hooks.
Hey, yo, check this.
Can you just like tug on those real quick and see if like we got to replace them?
Like
This
pull
recall,
extra hard.
this recall is going to cost us a lot of money. We're going to try to get ahead of it a
Yeah,
little.
it is, man. That's really a ridiculous thing to have skimped on as far as quality control goes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Again, just like another one of these weird manufacturing things that who knows how this could have gotten overlooked. What part of I don't know, where is it breaking from? Is it like the actual part of the housing on the body that's snapping out?
I think the whole thing is just coming
Just
out of the body.
yanks right out. It's wild.
Like the
That's why-
whole little
Yeah.
hook assembly.
Yeah, because I'm looking on the Sony here. The hook is its own metal thing, and I can't remember, but it's probably the same on the Nikon. It's not integrated into like the plastic on the body or whatever.
Right.
So that whole thing just pops right out. That's wild.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I don't know if we've seen like how much this is affecting, if it's just like a small batch or if it's like a bunch of them.
I haven't heard.
But anyway, I thought it was kind of hysterical and a huge pain in the ass. I would be so angry. I don't use
Right.
mine anyway. Like I just don't use mine. I literally pull the little jangly boys off and then just never see them again or use them. But like, man,
Well, I use them because I got the Peak Design leash strap, and you put the little hook, the eyelet things on those, and you like it's one of those things where you wouldn't expect there to be a problem at all. This is the first time I've ever heard of anything like this, and
oh yeah.
this is kind of shameful. This is not what the Z8 needed at all.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
it certainly hurts. Minor still, I think. But
I would
it
like-
definitely hurts.
I would be really pleased to know, like, if we get an announcement or whatever, that there was a very small number of affected bodies, right? And be like, oh, okay. Just something weird happened one day in manufacturing or something like
Yeah,
that.
like a couple
But
hundred just didn't get a pin or something.
Right. But we haven't heard that yet. So all we can do is speculate.
Yeah, pretty brutal, man. I think outside of that, which is there hasn't been any other super exciting Nikon news.
There's a
that I
body
know
rumor
of.
about the ZF, right?
I didn't see that.
Oh yeah. Go look around. It is supposedly in the works. This retro body style full frame, kind of like the Nikon DF was for the F mount way back in the day. I very much lusted over that camera for a while.
Yeah.
But the ZF is supposedly in the works, and then we might hear an announcement about it next month or even like next week or something.
Yeah, so it sounds like a early August release or announcement, and it's going to be the full frame one that you and I have spoken however many times on this show about if they
Right.
were to just do a full frame ZF.
Right. And I think the speculation months ago, way before we knew anything about the Z8 was, would the Z8 be this or
Right.
not? And
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that it's going this route because it gives people multiple options. I just hope they get QC under control for this one, whatever it turns out to be.
Yeah, it sounds. I mean, if these rumors are true and it's about $2,000, man, this is going to be huge.
Yeah, I
Like, it's
didn't
going to
look into
have,
it at all. I just saw that this body style might be coming, and I was, kind
yeah.
of got excited about
So
that.
it sounds like it's going to have the Z7 2 sensor, the 45 megapixel, which is huge.
Yeah, sure.
Apparently improved autofocus if it does that. Um, it should. It sounds like it's pretty sick. Similar to the ZFC, with a little bump grip and everything like that. New third function on the sub lever for the shutter speed dial. Okay, for black and white mode.
Oh,
Single card slot, which makes sense. I didn't expect it to have more than that.
oh,
Um,
really? I would have expected two card slots.
no, because then it kind of bumps too far into the Z6 and the Z7. Like, it has to be this like more niche, like A7C style camera,
I
which
don't
is
know
like,
though. The DF was this big chunker thing of a beast of a camera, right? Like
but
it's
this
got
isn't
the
a
room.
DF.
Yeah, but
They
there's
have new bodies and new lineups and stuff. Like, it wouldn't make sense for this to cannibalize the Z6 too.
so it's
Like
just
it,
going to be a full frame ZFC then. That I mean, drawing comparisons to that makes sense. But I think
yeah, yeah,
more people from the F mount era are going, "Oh, cool,
yeah.
mirrorless is DF." So
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I mean, better build quality. It sounds like it could have a fully articulating screen.
Hmm.
Oh, it has a little grip bump like the DF, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, man. I wouldn't expect it to go like a pro body. Like, I just wouldn't expect that. So
Well, I think the problem back in the day was that the DF was priced like a pro body. I think it was 24 or maybe even more. Not 2000. I don't remember it being only 2000, but I could be wrong. It's been a long time.
yeah. Well, I think it's important to not just try and compare it to that body, right? Like, this is a new era, so
Yeah, I
it's closer
guess
it's gonna be closer to a ZFC than a DF all day long.
times are changing. I guess so.
Um, but for 2 grand, man, that's huge.
Yeah, that sounds like a great buy
That'd
for two
be
grand if all those things come to be true.
it'd be a sweet camera. Um, I like still think I like Fujifilm, but I don't know that I could get over the um like not sharing lenses with my full frame cameras. So it's just its own system, which is why I haven't got one and why I do think I could do a 6700, but
Yeah,
something like that where you could move into their full frame lineup for really cheap and still have probably as good as you would need for all of their photography's sake. Especially
yeah,
if the autofocus is improved from the Z7 II, it's going to be a great camera.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Yeah, didn't know about that. I
Hmm.
hope that gets announced like next week.
Yeah.
Love to see it. I'm a little bored with my camera. I could see myself selling all my stuff eventually. I'm just waiting for Canon to get their shit together because this rumor has me stoked. They have a patent on a tilty viewfinder, and
Saw that.
I want it. I love an EVF. I'll always love an EVF. I've been wanting like a aftermarket one to go on the Sony like FX3 forever, and I was like, oh, just give me an articulating up and down so I can
Mm.
like put my head
Uh-huh.
down. So bad do I want that for like all of their bodies that they just are neglecting to put a freaking viewfinder on. But built into a Canon, that could change some vibes for me. Like I say, I do a lot of stuff outdoors. I don't like having a big setup if I can help it. And I've been flirting with the idea of getting a monitor for my video stuff at work just because I'm shooting outside more and I want to get lower while it's like really sunny and it's like hard for me to see half the time. And I think I need to get like a 5 inch or 7 inch monitor. But this would be huge because
Hmm.
obviously for me to run an EVF in the natural way they are works a lot of the time, but I'm 6'9". So if I'm closer to my subjects on like a 35 mil or something, like I'm squatting and
Yeah.
I can't move. I can't really do anything really fast and mobile. I have to like start the shot, stop it, and then move and then start a new shot. I can't really just like go from squatting and smoothly move and everything. So
Right.
something like that where I can actually just bow and use a freaking EVF is so huge for my giant ass. Um, I love
Yeah.
that.
I just hope this isn't one of those Canon patents where all we hear is the patent rumor and never anything comes out of it again. That's happened a couple of times. Canon
No,
is especially good at doing that, but
yeah.
could be
I
cool.
think I think Canon Rumors is good at announcing all the patents that
Yeah, you're
can I
probably
like
yeah.
they probably all are doing this all the time.
Yeah.
They just like Canon Rumors is like, wow, I haven't had a rumor in 2 weeks
They're
because
on
I'm
top of
not
it.
yeah, I'm not Andre Pizzini, so
Yeah.
I don't have all these cool guys. I guess I'll just talk about this patent. Because he pretty much posts every patent announcement.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I really do hope that's something that comes and other people catch wind of it because I'm an EVF boy, always will be an EVF boy. Now, the real surprising rumor was that apparently, possibly, there's going to be two A7Cs.
Yeah. You said something to me and I went and just checked on the news to see if this was like a thing, and yeah, this could be exciting.
So, if you're unfamiliar, the A7C is due to get a refresh this year. We've kind of been talking about it through the rumors for a while. However, recent rumors saying that there will be a A7C2, like we imagined. It'll probably have the A7 IV sensor, and it'll do kind of what the A7C did, but just kind of take what it can from the A7 IV. I imagine it'll probably have some feature that the A7 IV won't get because that's Sony's MO. But the real exciting thing is a high megapixel A7C, which I know how you're currently kind of using your A7C, but if you were to get a new one, are you looking at this high megapixel like it could be something really valuable for you? Or are you still just like down with the 33 megapixels and
It's weird, right? Because the A7 IV being 33 megapixels has always felt good enough to me. And so the way that I look at and view my A7C is this second little body that's handy to have that may not have 33 megapixels, but takes damn fine photos and does what I need it to do for video. But I can't say I'm not interested.
right?
It's really cool, the idea of having a small body like the A7C body having all the power of an A7R5, right? Or 4.
Right.
What are we on? 4? 5? 4?
Yeah.
Whatever it is now, the newest
Right.
R body, like that is
Yeah.
incredibly enticing, I will admit.
Yeah. I what immediately struck me when I knew I was going to ask you what you would look at was something like your New Orleans trip. And like, okay, so this thing's going to be able to vlog. Like it'll probably be fine like the A7R5 is for video, especially if you're not trying to do like slow motion stuff all the time or like action stuff. You just like use it as a secondary video camera, but then you only want to take like one body to do like street photos and things
Right.
like that. Uh, I think that's a huge like I don't think you'd see a huge capability shift if you upgraded your A7C to an A7C2, but this could potentially give you everything the A7C is doing with a higher megapixel camera you don't have.
I think there's some things that it depends, right? Like, does it have the same processor? Is the sensor stacked? Does it
No.
have the same Okay, so if it's not, what is the sensor readout on this sensor then? Because if it's going to have the same video capabilities, are we talking about having active stabilization or not? Or are we talking about some wibbly wobbly ass video at 64 megapixels or whatever it's going to be?
Well, I can tell you it's probably going to be like an A7R4. I'd be willing to put a pretty high amount of money on that.
Sure.
And I never had an issue with vlog style stuff on the A7 IV.
Mhm.
Or the A7R4
R4,
rather.
yeah.
It's fine.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be a little rough if you're swinging that thing around like crazy, but it's really solid.
Just like the A7 IV is a little rough, right? But I'd just be interested if it's just the megapixel count. If that's all it is, I honestly, I got to see the price. Is the price going to be a whole lot higher? Probably, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I really
Yeah,
don't know.
it's an old sensor. It could come in around the same price, but just like kind of maybe it screws you over in the video department and you only get like 4K 30, right? Which is probably likely.
Yeah.
But like probably fine.
So do we expect, I mean, let's like take this one step further. A7C2, A7CR2? Does it keep the 2? I don't know if it keeps
No,
the 2.
probably a
A7CR.
7CR.
Are we going to get an A7CS? Is that a
No, because
thing?
they gave up on the A7S3.
Well, until they haven't.
So, probably not. I would think your A7C2 is probably that like video centric.
You're probably right.
They'll probably split the difference between the two and call it good.
Right.
Um,
I don't know, man. If the price isn't wild, it'd be really interesting to consider that thing, and that
Yeah.
could be a hell of an all-around camera.
yeah, yeah. I'm certainly excited for it. I definitely miss high megapixels sometimes. Um, I think the only thing that would make me not miss a high megapixel sensor is if an A7S4 has like a very fast 24 megapixel sensor,
Yeah.
and I could do 6K on it. Um, which honestly would be stupid if they don't do that at this point. But I'll just like be very confused at what their goals are because like it's a no brainer for me to have a fast sensor at 24 megapixels and call that the S.
Yeah.
Because 12 is just like that's long in the tooth now.
Yeah, it's interesting that they've gone the route of possibly releasing two bodies this time around for the A7C. I'm curious if is that just a rumor, or is that kind of confirmed-ish that there will be two? Are there two bodies
I mean,
registered for this?
He doesn't backtrack very often. So he says two sources confirm that Sony will very soon announce two new cameras. Should happen within the next 2 months. So it sounds like it's pretty solid.
Within 2 months. Yeah,
This dude, like,
soon enough.
he would say that he has got like a reason to believe if it's not going to happen or whatever.
Sure.
But this has me completely on pause about the A6700.
Because I also wouldn't be surprised if they just dropped whatever the A7C2 would be and just
Right.
kept the A7CR, and that's the next A7C2, right? Like those specs are just the evolution of the A7C. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case too.
I just think that it targeted a lot of video centric people, and that wouldn't make marketable sense because there's probably a lot of holdouts who are like, I really like my A7C, like I don't want the A7 IV. In my opinion, I thought they were going to nix this entire line of cameras. So I thought the Z
I think a lot of
line-
people thought that too.
Yeah, I thought the Z line was just going to eat it, and I was like, oh, okay, well that's a thing. But
Right.
I guess here we are. So,
It'd be an interesting set of cameras, especially if they release them at the same time and we're like, okay, here we have these two new options, and it's like, what do you do? What do you do if you have an A7 III or an A7C? Now you've got the A7 IV, the A7R4, the A7C2, the A7CR. You've got basically 4 upgrade pathways, and you're not going down to the Z lines or whatever. So you've got these 4 options now. I'm sure the A7C2 is going to be enticing, but if you have an A7 III and you have an A7C, you're going to be looking at an A7CR going, well, that could be really interesting. So
Yeah.
they could sell a bunch of those.
yeah, I would like them to release A7C, an A7CR, and an A7CS, and have it just be like a huge marketing campaign with Pokemon, and then it's like a starter Pokemon, and then like, well, why not? Nothing
sure.
matters, and everything is sad. So, no, I'm pretty enticed. Like I was pretty sold on an A7C or an A6700, and I think I kind of like the idea of trying to cop this high megapixel boy.
Could be fun.
I do miss it. I don't.
Likely rangefinder style, though.
I imagine. I don't know why they would change the entire format and release it as an A7C anything and it have a different body type.
Right. But
That wouldn't.
you don't prefer that, right?
Well, no, but if we're talking cheaper than a flagship, and if I was already going to do it with a A6700, like I'm thinking of just like a slightly smaller packable camera.
Right.
And that hump, dude, the EVF hump on a A7 or A7 IV is just enough sometimes that like it doesn't fit in a smaller bag if I'm just trying to
Right.
like really piece out and have a camera with me.
Sure.
Um, I really, really am getting tired of only owning one camera. So,
Yeah, it could
um,
be a fun extra body for you.
yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think we're getting an A7S IV anytime soon, so I don't think I have to worry about that. And I have some pretty wild trips coming up that I think I would like to have kind of a new toy to play with. So
Sure.
pretty wild. But yeah, other than that, rumors and stuff have been kind of chill. I've still just been kind of watching the Petapixel podcast every week. That's become my WAN show. Um, I don't think I've watched the WAN show in like 3 weeks or something like that. But
I haven't caught it live, but I did catch the last half of the last one because of it was the LTX on Saturday night. So
oh, we're
they did WAN last night, and it was pretty fun.
nice, nice, nice. I'll probably watch it now that I've brought it back into the forefront of my memory.
Yeah.
I know you're not a Twitter guy, but have you seen the X stuff?
Yeah, I've seen.
I think it's crazy.
Mm.
I guess I don't like super care, but I didn't realize that it was like as big as it was. They have a giant like glowing X on top of their building and stuff like that, and like
And they
I
might have
was
permit issues with the installation
yeah,
of that. Yeah.
and like freaking Elon just like took somebody's handle.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so at X was somebody's handle on Twitter,
Were
and he
they
was just like,
active?
"Yeah, I think so," and he was just like,
Wow.
"That's mine now."
Wow. I'd be so mad.
Dude, that's a mess. Like,
Because
cause
you'd
like,
think if you were that user, you hit the gold mine, right? Like, oh,
yeah, you should,
he's gonna offer me 10 grand for this handle or something
yeah,
like
he
that.
should have to buy it.
Right.
Like that's messed up. Pretty crazy.
It is messed up because that person got on Twitter not knowing anything that there could be any possibility of something like this happening. So your like terms and conditions, like what you agreed to, your user agreement didn't include like this new ownership, this new company. I don't know. It's just ridiculous. And what a way to just completely burn down brand value, right? Like
Dude, it's so
holy
wild.
crap. No one's
I don't.
calling it X. No one.
Yeah, it's Twitter. I got the auto update, and now it says X, and it's just an X on my phone, and I click in. Oh, I just knocked everything off of that. Um, I go into it less.
Yeah.
Like just psychologically, I just don't see Twitter, and I just don't click it. It's pretty wild. I think I don't know if it was a meme or not, but there was a post that I saw that somebody was like selling an iPhone 14 with the original Twitter app installed on it for like $4,200. I hope it was real. I hope somebody was actually trying. Like they like turned it off of the internet, so you would still have a phone with Twitter on it,
Good
and
gravy.
they're just doing the thing. Pretty funny. Um, but yeah, I mean that's most of the crazy news this week. So what are we gonna do to get you shooting more?
Well, I mentioned this a little bit earlier. I did today meet with my model for our portrait challenge,
Sure.
which I think is pretty cool. And this is interesting because this isn't something I do anymore, really. Like I'll take gigs and I'll do portrait sessions for families and whatnot. But I haven't shot with a model who wasn't my wife because she and I shoot pretty occasionally. But somebody else with like the intention of doing something really creative
Sure.
and like thought provoking and all these things. So it's fun to like have this project inspired by this monthly ish challenge thing that we're doing. So I sat down. We had probably a 2 hour conversation. And I think we're gonna make some pretty cool stuff. We set next Sunday for the date, so I'll shoot. Probably end up editing those same day too. So I will be doing at least that. And things seem to be slowing down just a little tiny bit with the coffee, like just ever so slightly. So I did notice that my bin was still fairly full. I don't think I'll have to roast a ton tomorrow and Tuesday, so I might get out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm trying to break free from my primary Instagram account. I really desperately want to just be able to post anything to it and then just post more frequently. but like the triptych thing is destroying me. Like I literally hate to see it break every time it breaks.
Why don't you use Threads for that, or do you not even think about Threads at all?
I don't think about Threads at all, but I also wouldn't want to post images to Threads because it kind of defeats the purpose of Threads in my
Oh,
opinion.
see, I don't think that way at all.
Yeah, I'll probably poke on it this week to see how it's doing versus Twitter destroying itself.
It's definitely quiet now, but
Yeah.
like the people that are left there that are still posting are like, it's cool to see it still kind of going. I'm still
Yeah.
kind of into it.
I just hate that there's not a desktop component.
That's a big mistake on
It's
Meta's part.
yeah, well, and they do it with Instagram too. Well, they're a little bit more forgiving with Instagram now. Like I DM people and message people on my computer's Instagram
Oh, me too.
all the time.
Me too.
Most of the time you're talking to me, it's probably because I'm at my computer and texting through Instagram. It's my primary. I don't know if I've said this on the show. I might have, but I don't use iMessage. I don't use like Facebook Messenger very much. All of my talking to human beings, like when my mom can't get a hold of me, she knows that she has to message me on Instagram or else I just will not text her back.
That's funny.
I'm just not going to do it. And then she'll DM me and I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on? And she's like, did you get my text? And I was like, no, man, I have fucking do not disturb on my phone all the time.
That's funny.
So yeah, it's super nice, but because I can't be working and have it on my second monitor, I don't pay attention to it. Oh my God, it's copyright 2023 X Corp. I didn't realize that. I have Twitter up on here.
Okay.
I guess rest in peace. I hope they sell. Oh, it still says search Twitter though, and it still says tweet. I wonder if they're going
Hey,
to
give
get
him
rid
a
of that.
break. He's got like one developer left, all right?
Well, it's definitely a dumpster fire over there.
Yeah. Hey, we're like halfway through summer. When you coming up?
Dude, I know, man. When am I doing anything?
Not
still
that I
don't
have any time to give you any this
Right,
summer
yeah.
either.
Same, man. I'm trying to figure out. I have some things in the back end of my life that I have to sort out. That's
Mm-hmm.
kind of bugging me, but I'm in Connecticut the 12th through the 17th, and then that's like most of August.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have the 19th and then the 26th. Those weekends I'm busy, and that's so September. We'll look at September, and I'm trying to go out to Boston and Maryland.
Cool.
So I got to go see my dad real bad. I haven't seen him in over a year. Well, it's coming on a year that I saw him last, and then some pedal stuff out in Boston. I've been like trying to do for 8 years or more, and I just haven't. So
Nice.
trying to work that out next year. I'm currently looking at a Korea trip and a Japan trip.
Oh, cool.
The Japan trip, I'm really pressing for my buddy. I'll tag him down below if you're into like tactical photography and stuff like that. His name is RBMT Media, and he's the guy that I've traded my Sony lenses and stuff with. And we've never met in person, but we've talked on the phone and we send voice messages back and forth all the time and talk about photography. But I was like, hey man, we should go to Japan. And he was like, sure. And I was like, no, seriously. And I think I mentioned like 2 episodes ago, he was like, hey, when we just need to like meet up in a city for a weekend and like shoot and do the thing. We'll just pick like Chicago or New York or something and just do it. And I was like, yes, let's do that. But I'm going to take that a step further. And I think we're going to go to Tokyo and Osaka. I'd like to get to the countryside if I can. We'll see, time permitted, but Hope and Evan want to go to Seoul too. So
Sweet. Do you intend to vlog?
probably not vlog. I'll probably make something, but I won't vlog.
Short film stuff?
Yeah, like
Cool.
I want it to be a little tighter. A lot of photography though.
Yeah.
Cool. I really disappointed myself last time I was in Japan for like the 24 hours I was there.
Yeah, those circumstances were out of your control though.
No, I know, but like I was just tired and I was only there for 17 hours and I really should have at least put an hour into walking around in the rain
And it
getting some
rained on
photos.
you the whole time.
Doesn't matter.
I wouldn't put that on you.
I know. I hope I take that lesson and like even if it's a half an hour, like go outside and get a shot that you like when you're in a place like that, right? Because I was only a few blocks from like what do you call it? Crap. Anyway, yes. So I'm like in the heart of Shinjuku, and I don't go out and shoot. Dumb. And it probably would have been epic in the rain, dude. All the cabs there are these black Toyota Crowns, and like they're beautiful, and like everything was sick. I should have just did it. Never again will I allow that to happen.
Well, you're going back, so make it happen.
Yeah, so that's the goal. Those would be the big trips. But we should be able to knock out a long weekend. When's Labor Day weekend? Like, there's got to be some kind of long.
I never know. Is it the first weekend of September?
I don't know, something like that.
Be.
We'll take a look. I mean, even if it's for like a day and a night, I got to come out. We got to at least do one live podcast episode and do some shooting. So
yeah,
we shall figure it out.
We'll do it.
Yeah, well, right on. I don't have a plan yet for my portrait for next month, but I'm gonna kind of put it on blast in the Discord I'm in and stuff, and hopefully get a few shots to talk about next time. If you're listening, the links are in the show notes and in the description. Just lotpodsubmissions@gmail.com. You can send us an anonymous portrait that you took, and we'll just share it and talk about it, what we like about it and stuff. It's not really like a serious thing. We just like looking at photos.
Yep. It's not even a critique. We won't dog on it. We won't say we wished it would have been this or that.
Oh,
that's not what it's about.
I'm gonna put you straight on blast. No. No, it's good fun. I like looking at people's stuff.
Yeah.
And it's all just somebody's perspective, right? So it's not like I'm not some kind of pro, like, I don't know, reportage, like snooty wild boy. Like I shoot like dogs and guns. I don't really do anything serious. So it is what it is. If you're still listening, thank you. We've been spreading out the episodes a little bit more, but it's just because we're super busy. So we'll just keep recording when we have the time to record, and I hope you enjoy these conversations.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
That's all I got for you, so I'll let you listen to me yap at you next time.
Bye, guys.